Hello there everyone, this is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth TV. Ever since the beginning of time, in every civilization that has ever existed, there have always been the rulers of the world who want to dominate and control every aspect of everyone's lives. From the Babylonians to the Egyptians to the Romans, right on up to the 20th and 21st century, this human desire to rule like gods has continued. When Adolf Hitler made his attempt at a complete power grab, the people of the world rose up and fought back and managed to stop his efforts. Out of the ashes of the Second World War, we saw the rise of the United Nations, whose goals are to achieve world peace through unity. This has led to the formation of the World Bank, the World Health Organization, the World Food Program, and the World Court. The current global elite have been accelerating their plan by implementation through stealth, by utilizing things like the education system, Hollywood, and the mainstream media to condition the people of the world into believing that unity, to the extent of a one-world government, is the only solution to our many problems. Under the guise of humanitarianism, the current elites of the world have set up global governing authorities such as Interpol, the International Criminal Police Organization, and the International Criminal Court. In fact, the ICC, along with AFRICOM, the American African Military Command, are currently positioning themselves for military intervention in the nations of Africa, all in the name of peace and security. You see, the agendas for a one-world government are advancing so much so that now global governing authorities such as the UN and NATO are calling the shots, and they are bypassing constitutional authorities in countries all over the world.
Do you think that you can act without Congress to initiate a no-fly zone in Syria without congressional approval?
You know, again, our goal would be to seek international permission, and we would come to the Congress and inform you and determine how best to approach this, whether or not we would want to get permission from the Congress. I think those are issues we would have to discuss as we decide what to do here.
Well, I'm almost breathless about that, because what I heard you say is we're going to seek international approval, and they will come and tell the Congress what we might do, and we might seek congressional approval.
No, well,
I want to just say to you, that's a big dish. Wouldn't you agree? You've served in the Congress.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree that that's would be pretty breathtaking to the average American? So would you like to clarify that?
But I've also served with Republican presidents and Democratic presidents who has always reserved the right to defend this country if necessary.
But before we do this, you would seek permission of the international authorities.
If we're working with an international coalition and we're working with NATO, we would want to be able to get appropriate permissions in order to be able to do that. That's something that, you know, all of these countries would want to have some kind of legal basis on which to act.
What legal basis are you looking for? What entity?
Well, obviously, if NATO made the decision to go in, that would be one. If we developed an international coalition beyond NATO, then obviously some kind of UN security resolution would be the basis for that.
So a coalition of, so you're saying NATO would give you a legal basis, and an ad hoc coalition of nations would provide a legal basis?
If we were able to put together a coalition and were able to move together, then obviously we would seek whatever legal basis we would need in order to make that justified. I mean, you know, we can't just pull them all together in a combat operation without getting the legal basis on which to act.
Who are you asking for the legal basis from?
If it's obviously, if the UN passed a security resolution as it did in Libya, we would do that. If NATO came together as we did in Bosnia, we would rely on that. So, you know, we have options here if we want to build the kind of international approach to dealing with the situation.
Well, I'm for having an international support, but I'm really baffled by the idea that somehow an international assembly provides a legal basis for the United States military to be deployed in combat. I don't believe it's close to being correct. They provide no legal authority. The only legal authority that's required to deploy the United States military is the Congress and the President and the law and the Constitution.
We are being led to believe that the U.S. military has intervened in countries like Afghanistan, Iraq, and Libya to bring them freedom and democracy. However, more and more people these days are beginning to see through the lies. We can see that they have their eyes set on Iran, Syria, and Sudan, as well as Uganda, the Congo, and many other nations in Africa. The completion of the European Union is just one economic crash away, and the North American Union agenda is still on the table as we speak. We are currently slipping down a very slippery slope, which is leading us towards the formation of a world police who will enforce the laws of the world government, who won't be beholden to the laws of international sovereign nations. And so if you find that you are now asking yourself, what can I do as one individual person? Well, it's important for you to know that this entire system is set up in a pyramidal structure which is destined to come crashing down one day. The only question is, what side will you have been on when it's all said and done? I know I, for one, am going to continue to expose wickedness in high places and to shed light on the deeds that are done in the dark.
The hope that each of us has to build a new world order in which nations and peoples with different systems and different values can live together in peace.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
Now we can see a new world coming into view. A world in which there is the very real prospect of a new world order. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind. Out of these troubled times, our fifth objective, a new world order, can emerge.
There is a chance for the President of the United States to use this disaster to carry out what his father, a phrase his father used, I think, only once, and hasn't been used since, and that is a new world order.
There's a need for a new world order. In the next few years, a solution will emerge, that people will look into that cauldron and decide that they have to learn their limits. But I think that at the end of this administration, with all its turmoil, and at the beginning of the next, we might actually witness the creation of a new order.
After 1989, President Bush said, and it's a phrase that I often use myself, that we needed a new world order.
It is a new mindset that the world now needs. It is a real, global New Deal that we need, an ecological and an economic New Deal that we need. In the name of France, I call upon all states to join ranks in order to found the new world order of the 21st century.
I think a new world order is emerging, and with it the foundations of a new and progressive era of international cooperation. We need a world of shared global rules, founded on shared global values.
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.